Now, some people who get realization have to understand certain things because, as you know, there are many people who have got realization. I don't know how many, I don't keep count. But what is lacking in them is surrendering. It's embarrassing to say, but it's a fact. This is the only condition of modern Sahaja Yoga, that you have to really surrender. If you start using your brain, if you start using other methods to understand Sahaja Yoga, you cannot. You must surrender. And as Islam is nothing but surrender. Islam means surrender. And if that surrender is not there, it is impossible to establish anyone in the kingdom of God. Surrender is not that you should give up your family, give up your children, or give up your houses and homes and your properties. Surrendering is here, give up your ego to begin with, and then give up your conditionings. For example, the other day I met one gentleman and he's suffering a lot. So I asked him, who is your guru? So he gave me one name of a guru. I said, he's not done any good to you. Will you give him up? He said, tomorrow. I said, why not today? He said, today. But I have to throw away all his things, so tomorrow morning I'll do it. I said, all right, do it. What should I throw away, mother? I said, then all the things with which you worshipped him, throw away. Throw away. Then he went round the whole house, found out whatever was there, which was used for worshipping him. Everything he gathered together, threw in the sea. And then he told the sea that, I'm sorry, I have suffered a lot because of this man. Now you please don't suffer. So this kind of a very penetrating intelligence, if you don't have, you cannot give up. One sticks to that. I know of so many who find it so difficult to get rid of their conditionings. That's more difficult than ego. But then conditionings and conditioning that you have. We have first conditioning that supposing you are born in India or England or any place. After Sahaja Yoga, I have seen most of the people, they suddenly start seeing what's wrong with their countrymen, what's wrong with their country, what's wrong with their religion, what's wrong with the books they were reading. Immediately they start seeing it clearly that this was the mistake. This is wrong. They all make fun of them. I've seen people all over the world. Nobody says that no, because we are English, we are the best, we are Russians, so we are the best, or we are Indians, we are the best. Immediately they find out what's wrong with them and why these people are not getting realization. On the other hand, they feel such compassion that, mother, so many people haven't got their realization. Why shouldn't we try to give them realization? This is the double action of this light. Firstly, you know that there is light and that you have become the light. So wherever your attention goes, you start seeing reality. And then you understand that this has been the conditioning of our country, of our society. And then they abhor all that is wrong. They never identify with it. But first thing, as I said, is surrendering. In surrendering, actually, you develop a kind of a state where I would say you become a sannyasi from within. That means nothing can dominate. What is a sannyasi? Is a person who is above everything else. Nothing can stick to him. He just looks at things and he knows what it is. He may not say. He knows everything. And he doesn't do whatever is wrong. He's so detached that in that detachment only he can see what's wrong with people. He starts seeing his family people. He starts seeing other surroundings everywhere. He starts seeing what's wrong. And he does not identify with them. It's very surprising. I have seen it. I mean, I went to Turkey. In Turkey, I met one gentleman who was running a big Swiss hotel. And he came himself to me and said, Mother, give me realization. I was surprised because I didn't see this in Switzerland, such an anxious personality would ask for realization. Very surprising that in Turkey he should ask for realization. And I gave him realization. And immediately he said, I am not going to go back to Switzerland. Just imagine. You see, it is so clear-cut that this light definitely gives you tremendous wisdom and balance. Supposing you are walking and you can't see the road, you may fall down. But if there's little light also, you can see it. And this is what Sahaja Yoga has done. It's given you very little light. That little light itself has been sufficient for you to give up so many things. Now the other side of it is the ego part. Ego is very subtle stuff with human beings. I don't know how they gather it, but they do. And some of them have such a gullible ego that with the slightest thing it shoots off. And they get very angry for small things. Or if they find somebody whom they can dominate also that person. Now this ego, when you start seeing it, you just start laughing at yourself and think that, what's wrong with me? Ego is not like conditioning which is coming from outside, but ego is something that comes from within. It can come from anything. Human beings have ego of all kinds of nonsensical things. One day I met one lady and she was very proud and was not even smiling. I said, what's the matter with this lady? What is she? So they told me she knows how to make dolls. That's why she's so proud. I said, to make dolls? She's so proud. Yes, she can make dolls. So she's so proud. I said, what is there? Anybody can make dolls. So what is so great? No, but she thinks she's very great because she makes dolls. So a man becomes stupid and stupid. That is first sign of an egoistical person. He's so stupid that when you're talking to him, you just get flabbergasted. That without paying anything, you have got a buffoon before you who is showing all jokes of his buffoonery. It's something very surprising. I mean, you meet any egoistical person and you just watch him. I did this, I am, I. Then you start seeing the person, what's the matter? He's not even ashamed to say things that should not be said. Then it goes even to the sinful life they lead. They lead a very sinful life, they're fond of women, they drink and this and that. Then they start boasting about that also. I drank that day so much, I had 5 women around me. They start boasting of that also. So for an egoistical man, there is nothing like shame. He'll go on telling about his nonsensical things and everybody will say, oh my God, with whom are we talking? And then whatever they do, they justify. I asked one fellow, you had such a bad heart attack. Why do you drink now? Give up drinking. He said, but even this person, Kirloskar, we have one in Pune, who is now, I think, 95, he drinks. So I said, you are not Kirloskar. And even if he drinks, what's the use? What is he gaining by that? No. You see, he's very good. Because, see, he drinks and he's so successful. Is he successful because of drinking? But even ordinary reasoning is not there. Ordinary reasoning. And in the general way, if you see, even if you see the greatest drunkard countries, I have never seen a statue of a man who died of drinking. Never. I have not seen in any country people are praising a man because he had 10 women or he died of drinking. So far. I don't know how far human beings can go in their ego. Now this ego is spreading very much in modern times, where they start saying, I like this, I don't like this. What you don't like? I don't like this kind of a sari, I don't like this kind of clothes, I don't like this. But who are you? You are not going to see yourself, others are going, whether you like it or not. But it is very common with young people to talk like that, I like. And this is a sign of complete destruction. Because ego is not only makes you stupid. You see, all these days the way people dress up, and we find they are very stupid because I like it. So what? Anything they like it, if they want to walk on their heads, I like it. What's wrong? All kinds of stupidity can be explained through ego. So those who get realization, some or other, thank God, see it. This is my ego talking. Then they start laughing at themselves, making fun of themselves. This was my ego. But also in Sahaja Yoga, there are people, I said, why don't you go and organize? Mother, because my ego will come up. I said, what's this? My ego will come up, so I don't want to organize. How can your ego come up? If you see your ego, supposing you see something is burning, you see it there. How can you get that burning onto yourself? But this is a very subtle type of avoiding work of Sahaja Yoga, to say that, no, I'll get into ego. I said, all right, you get into ego, I'll see to it. Get in. What happens? So all kinds of things there are which makes a person quite idiotic and stupid. I mean, I don't know how many things I can tell you today. But also I've seen in marriages, this is very common. They'll say that, Mother, I married this girl at that time, but now I don't think I should have been married. Baba, that time what had happened to you? Why didn't you marry at that time? I have to tell you these things because I've been facing all kinds of problems of this stupid, idiotic ego. One has to see it clearly, how this ego is working in me and how it is keeping me down. So when we talk of ascent, we talk of a higher life, we have to become sannyasi, like the lotus that comes out of the pond and no water can stay on them. Even the leaves of lotus, no water can stay on them. Just like that we have to become. We don't have to wear sannyasi's dresses, nothing of that. But from inside, a kind of a detached attention is there, which immediately locates the problem within you and without. And also in Sahaja Yoga, you know how to overcome that. It's a very effective, efficient system. But for that again, to achieve that, you have to become Shiva within, means detached. As Shiva is completely detached, you have to be detached. And that detachment will give you the same wisdom as Shiva has. Shiva sees, we should say Sadashiva sees the work of Adishakti silently. He doesn't get proud, he doesn't develop a kind of a ego that will see now what my Ichha Shakti is doing. Nothing. He's just watching. But when it comes to destruction, he sees that this part is going to destroy the work. Immediately he destroys, removes that. In the same way, we have to be. We have to see our life itself is a big field. How do we consider ourselves to be? I've seen people talk, oh, so what, I'm a Sahajogi. You can't talk like that if you're a Sahajogi. With folded hands, you have to say, I am a Sahajogi. In your behavior, in your talk, in everything, you have to be a person who is extremely humble. If that is not so, that means Sahaja Yoga has given you double ego. As it is, you know that Shiva is known for his innocence, for his simplicity, his forgiveness. He forgives. He forgives Rakshasas, he'll forgive everyone. That is his quality. But anybody who goes against the primordial mother, she doesn't spare. So this is the quality one has to understand. Surrendering doesn't mean outside things to be surrendered. What is there? These are all stones. What are you surrendering? Surrendering means cleansing yourself completely, getting completely detached. Detachment is the only way you can rise. Some people get sick. They make such an ado out of it. I am sick, the whole world should know I am sick, 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 sick. But if you are a Sahajogi, you should just watch. Oh, so I am sick, all right, let's see. Just like a sport. Just watch. I am sick. So, what's happening now? The temperature is coming nicely, it's going down. It's just sort of a playful, mirthful attention. When I came, I had temperature, but nobody believes I had temperature. I was so tired in the marriage, they said, you don't look tired. I said, all right, I'm not tired. In the same way, life also is to be played. It's just a play. And that play has to be seen through the light of wisdom. Nothing is so serious. For Sahajogis, nothing is so serious. But he becomes very serious and he makes too much ado about himself. There are lots of things which we have to learn. When we worship Shiva, we praise him. You are this, you are that, you are that. When you worship me also, you praise me. You are this, I am not aware of all that you say. But you say, all right, if you say so, it's all right. You are this, you are that, there are 1,000 names of Shiva, 1,000 names of the goddess, 1,000 names of Vishnu. These are their names you are worshipping. What about you people? How many names you can have? Actually, in the puja, when you take the names of these Shaktis, they also get awakened with it, no doubt. After puja, you do feel that way, but you don't utilize them. So many people I've seen have come in the puja and they have got that power within themselves. Same powers. But by the time they are out, it's finished. It's gone. So, surrendering has another side. Assumption. Assumption that I am a Sahaja Yogi. And I can absorb all these powers within myself. So one side is surrendering. Why to surrender? To absorb. Automatically, when you are surrendered, you absorb. But once you have absorbed, then you should retain and assume within yourself, know that you have these powers.